All right, so we're here. Hello, Buggy. How you doing?
Hey, Colin. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. How's the wife and kids?
Oh, they're still breathing. That's all I can ask for.
That's what I would. That's what I would hope for. That's funny. I want to start off with an image, and I am gonna grab one from my computer here, just right off the bat. Do a little banter here. Let's see. I gotta look for some folders. I got way too much stuff in my downloads folder. There's a lot of stuff in here.
I can relate to that,
Yeah,
sadly.
I just, you always grab something new every day and then you don't organize it later on. Where is this little guy? Oh, it's so funny. Ah, here it is. I want you to tell me, how does this picture make you feel? And I'll put it up on the video as well.
Oh my goodness. I'm rather intimidated. I'm confused. I'm missing so much context here.
As a Saints fan, you might be looking at this and it's like, wow, this is a situation going on.
Oh, I was immediately revolted once I saw that blue, but other than that, there's the eyes that peering into my soul.
This is when we went 2-15 last season for the Panthers.
Gosh.
None of you guys know any football knowledge. That's really bad. It's terrible. That's the worst season in I think our franchise history, and this was the man at the helm of that at that time.
Is that Frank
And
Reich?
yeah, it is. It is Frank. And my buddy's name is Orlando. He grabbed this image. I don't know how he got it. He must have been watching the game, I guess, and somehow screenshotted this. And I was like, this is the perfect like representation of that season. The anger in this man's eyes behind his head is so funny. I laugh at it every time I see it, and I'm like, this resembles exactly how I feel. That was just a small anecdote I wanted to start the video off just to get the vibes out. Um, because I just enjoy it so much. But we're here talking just about being bros. You had a video recently titled just Love, Love, and it touched my heart a lot. I loved it. It was such a good video. It was very sweet and endearing, and you talked about different kinds of love, and then you delve into the romantic love you have for your wife. And I feel like for this video, I'm titling it Bromance because I'm talking about the love for my bros. The boys. You got all the
Absolutely.
got all the boys in um, that watch our videos, the boys that we interact with through different channels, and the boys that we interact right here. We're two boys right up in here.
Yeah, we're a modern internet bromance, my friend. We were one of my first internet connections, and we've been kind of linked together ever since for whatever reason here. But here we are.
Here we are. And I just wanted to like reminisce and kind of bring into light of this situation and how I'm blessed to really be in this situation. I feel like you are as well in your context.
For sure.
Yeah. And so we both had separate streams. You had one with YLearn last week, and then the beginning of this week I had one with Raw Lens, Slats, and the Manny Lad, and it was just like it was just like a moment I had when we were in the middle of that stream where I'm like, this is like those times where you're with your bros. It could be any friend group that you have, and you're all like, it's a big group, and you're just chilling and vibing together, and it's a good time through video games or what have you. Usually it's video games though, in our sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's something magical about it that I haven't felt a feeling that like that it hasn't been replicated in I can't tell you how long.
Hmm.
Like I do some gaming with my brothers once a week, and that's like a great stress reliever and break from the day to day. But especially like when we're playing these older Call of Duties, it kind of just sets me right back into where I was 10, 12 years ago playing these exact same games. And in the context of the stream I did with Y Learn, we were playing MW2, and that was like the game that I played the most with friends. So once we started playing and we got in the groove of things, it felt like I was 14 again, and it was a pretty magical feeling.
It's a great feeling, and that's how I felt when I was playing zombies with everybody else on that stream, where I was like, I can't remember the last time I've had four guys pull up in a zombies party and just play like Shadows of Evil or just any, it could have been Black Ops 2, for instance, and I would have been like, this is crazy. Like, I haven't done this in so many years. Like, I've had like maybe the most recent thing, maybe like 2 years ago, I've had like a LAN party with some of my friends back in Charlotte, where like, we would bring our PlayStations and all hook up to different TVs in the same room, which is a blast in itself. But something about this time, and I think I know why, is like it's new people I've never met before. It was so spontaneous, just off the cuff, and it's like new friends that I never knew I had that were just there, and it was just magical. And I'm like, I haven't been like this since like Black Ops 2, when I used to meet like random people all the time online, and I was really social online. I think more as a kid because I was really antisocial with real life people. I didn't have that many friends, especially like through middle school, besides a couple, and it's really like an area where it brought me back to that.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I kind of have a similar experience with online friendships because I've, especially in my youth, I was a lot more of a awkward guy socially. So face to face interactions, that I wouldn't say they freaked me out, but they weren't my preferred means of interacting with people. So whenever I moved cross country and started playing online with one of my childhood friends, it just made it more comfortable whenever he would introduce new people I've never met before. It just made it easier to not have to worry about, are my facial expressions inviting, and it just made the responsibility and the weight of it just come crashing down, where it was just so much easier. And I feel like a certain part of me almost feels like that kind of like hurt me in some ways socially,
Mm,
but at the same time it gave me a lot more confidence to just speak in general and kind of find a way to adapt like the way I did in those Xbox parties, but do it in the real world and find a groove to be social with people in a real world sense. And it totally paid off. I would say like there were some days whenever I was probably like 14 or 15 where it might have hurt me a little bit spending too many hours online and not enough time in the real world. But
right.
as I've grown into an adult, those exact same scenarios and situations are what I look at for aiding me in being a better communicator in the real world as well, and it's all thanks to online gaming with the bros.
I know. It's fantastic, and I relate with you there a lot because I I feel like I had a hard time making real life friends, and so it's just online. It's so much easier. You don't have to worry about as much, like you said, with facial expressions. How do I look? I could be wearing like just baggy clothes and underwear, and I'd be fine, just chilling with the boys online. And
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
you go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
No, you got it. I'm done.
I was just gonna say, in the real world, I have like one of those resting bee faces. So my wife nowadays
Mm,
days always gives me the nudge and says like, fix your face. You're frowning here. People think you're angry, and it's just how my face rests naturally.
yeah,
So whenever I'm online, I don't have to worry about that. But whenever I'm in the real world, I have to remind myself to not look like a jerk and to put a little bit of a smile on, or at least a neutral face, so I look somewhat inviting.
I feel like my mom tells me that sometimes. She looks at me and I'm like, I just have my resting face going on. She's like, "You don't look happy." And I'm like, "Mom, I couldn't be happier that I'm here at home with you." Like I got your cooking. I mean, this was like during Christmas, and I'm like, this could not be a better situation for me right now. So just don't take my facial expression as is. That was how I feel. So I understand that there. And I've met a lot of weird people online too. You mentioned before. Um, with me privately that you've had some interesting interactions with people, and there's a lot of weirdos out there you got to be careful with. Um, and I feel like there's a sense of you can choose who your friends are. I feel like you don't have to be friends with absolutely everybody, but it's nice to know that the opportunity is there. And kind of like as a soft invite for anybody that's listening, if you ever want to hit me up or Buggy up, or if you're comfortable with that, I can't speak for you, but
For sure.
um, if I'm fine with hitting up with any other creator and doing collabs like this, like just chilling and hanging out. We could do maybe a live gameplay. I got some things in the works coming up soon, and yeah, just chilling, having fun. And even just being one of the discords, having conversations is a fun time, and there's always time for that here and there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't mean to plug my Discord, but I have my Discord available for that exact reason, just
I'll
to
put
have
it in.
a
I'll put it in there.
direct. Oh, I appreciate that. You don't have to do that, but it's an easy direct contact out context contact. What am I saying? Direct point of contact that is outside of YouTube comments, where I can speak with people and get an instant response, and they can get an instant response from me. And it's just another great way to just experience the community. And I think that's like one of the things I've learned about online connections with people is like whenever I first started YouTube and started gaining a little bit of an audience, and there were people that were gaining interest in like my live streams and stuff like that. I was so eager to make connections in the community that I was like, yeah, I'll add you as a friend, I'll add you as a friend, I'll add you as a friend.
Just add everybody.
And exactly. And at first it wasn't a problem, and then there are other situations where you just don't see eye to eye with a person and you just add them blindly, but it's you're so eager to just be a part of a community.
Hmm.
But I think the important thing is exactly what you said. You can pick and choose. You're online. You don't have to be friends with everyone. It's totally fine to cross paths and that be it. You don't have to be buddy buddy with every single person. And if you come across someone that you don't really jive with, then you exterminate it. You move on, and that's the beautiful thing. The wonderful thing about a community like this is there are so many amazing people
Hmm.
in this type of community, and it's great to be a part of a community like this. But every good community still has its bad eggs, and you
Yes.
can weed them out or just ignore them, and you can just yeah, you'll find your way.
It's perfectly acceptable too. It's like don't feel ashamed. I feel, just by default, I feel bad to ignore a person, but if it's for, my own mental health and to keep me feel comfortable in my own space, then I'm gonna do it, of course. And you should, everybody that's listening should too. Choose who your friends are. And I'm gonna bring up this small point here about one of my friends that I've known before, where I was so jealous of him because this kid could make friends with anybody. I mean, any stranger that came in contact with him. Everybody knew him in school. He was the smartest kid between my middle school and high school. Everybody knew this kid's name. It's a weird name. His name is Delwood. Delwood. I've never heard a guy
Interesting.
named Delwood before. It was so interesting. Everybody just called him Dell though, like the computer. And I mean, he was a genius. He was so smart, but he was so friendly too. And like something that really intrigued me about him was like his vast understanding and curiosity for like Christianity. And I know you, Buggy, are a Christian.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like that resonated with him a lot to want to make friends all the time. And like everybody he met, he was friendly with. And it definitely rubbed off on me. Just I'm not a religious person, but I could take a moral or two from other people and incorporate it in that way. And I feel like that's something I've picked up on where I give people the opportunity to be friends with, and I like to gain friends. I hate to lose friends. Losing friends is a hard thing for me, for sure.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. And I think on the Christianity front, I at least from my perspective, and it, it's a tricky thing to navigate because it already has such a negative stigma around it.
Hmm.
That just because there are so many bad eggs in the Christian community, but the kind of the stance that I've taken throughout my life and on my channel as well is I'll never not share my beliefs, but I always try to be conscious and structure my sentences in a way that doesn't feel like I am talking down to a person or talking bad of a person. And I also try to take the same principles that I would use from my faith and make them applicable for every single person. I mean, like you just said that he was a Christian, but you're not a religious person,
Hmm.
but you still took some moral tips from him, if you will. And I think that's an important thing because just because there are some bad eggs in any community, I think there's still things you can learn or utilize. And I do the same thing whenever it comes to other religions too. Like I don't shy away from taking tips from like Buddhists and that kind of thing because people are good people regardless of their backgrounds, and I think that's an important thing to remember too.
I think that's super respectable too. The way you're like conscious about that, because I've met plenty of people, especially like in college, who do what is it called? Like scouting, I guess you could say, for churches, where they, have groups at colleges where they try to like recruit you, I guess, in a sense. And
Interesting. Okay.
sometimes these people, yeah, it's an interesting thing. We had something like that at my college, and I joined out of curiosity and just kind of like a need for a new friend group. And the guys I was with they were just total respect. They were really chill people, super laid back, and you can just kind of tell in like a sense like they weren't super conscious of like the other person's, I guess, belief system if it was different or if they had none. Um, but the fact that like you are conscious of that and try to be respectful while also just giving your 2 cents about what you think and believe, I feel like that's a really good bridge to have in those types of conversations, and that creates bros. That creates it could be a bromance right there, and you never know. I haven't seen those people in a long time, but they were way older than me anyways. I was like a freshman when they were juniors and seniors, so they were way older than me and graduated and moved on from the college.
For sure. I mean, I look at us right now, two different types of people that have a different belief system, and we both just listen to each other and have respect for each other
Right,
and
that's
meet
true.
in the middle. You can still be friends and not have to agree on every little thing, as long as you're conscious and being respectful of the other party. There's no reason why these things can't work.
All right, and I feel like that's a good lesson to learn if you're wanting to reach out, to other creators. If you're like me or Buggy, and you want to mingle a little bit, get a little mingly, and just see what sticks. If it doesn't stick, that's fine. Don't be embarrassed. Try again with a different person, or maybe if you're comfortable in your own bubble, you can have that too. It's just nice to, I feel like, for me to communicate and have this social bubble that I didn't even expect. 6 months ago, I was like, wow, this is this is beyond what I imagined what it could be, and it's just been nothing but awesome, just awesome moments, core memory after core memory.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this community that we have, we all have one thing in common, and it's either a passion for old Call of Duties or a passion for commentary, and that's an easy thing to meet in the middle on. And you won't really know if you jive or connect with the person in a sustainable way until you've actually talked with them. So unless you start talking to them, you're not going to know if you think your friendship will actually last. And it's okay if they don't. Not every personality type clicks together, and that's a perfectly normal thing too. You don't have to try to force friendships. I think
Right.
they just kind of happen naturally. Going back to your live stream that you did, it was instantaneous from the time that I joined the live stream and started watching that I could see the synergy and the broy ship that the four of you had immediately. And this is like what, the second time that you guys talked in a call together, and it was just immediate. It was just absolutely incredible, like the type of synergy that just happened. And those are things that you can look for. It's very easy cues in my mind whenever you have a natural connection with the friend or friend group. I think it's pretty obvious when it works and when it doesn't.
Yeah, and I feel like that makes a great environment for people to tune into. So we're gonna continue, at least my group, and maybe others that want to join. Buggy, you can join on a stream if we ever plan that in the future.
For
Whoever
sure.
whoever wants to hop in. I got all sorts of new connections popping up left and right. This week has been pretty outstanding from a growth perspective, but
I
um,
love that.
yeah, we will definitely have more in the future for you guys to watch and join in on, I believe. And I don't know. I think that's a good stopping point for this conversation. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think it's a great stopping point. I appreciate you having me on your channel again, Colin. I always enjoy talking with you. You're clearly a guy that has integrity and really cares about the community aspect of this community. And I think it shows in your content and how you carry yourself. So thanks for having me on your channel again.
Yeah, no problem. And it should show that I talked to more than one person. You've been on here twice in a row, I guess technically, but that video was so long ago. I'll have other dual commentary collabs with other people. It's not exclusive, let's
I'm
say.
looking forward to them.
All right. Well, with that, I'll end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye now.